Good morning and welcome to Talking with Famous People. My name is host Eric, and this is a gold medal live stream. Hi, Becky. You left out kind of an important detail. We can talk about that later. That I learned last night from Kimberly that, like, quadruples down on my point or something. Mm-hmm. Regardless of that, this is a gold medal live stream. So there's nothing but winning in this live stream. From the start of it to the finish of it, it'll be all winning. All winning all the time. Yes, you win for sure. Becky wins. I win as well. And everybody who's here wins. Nano's 2013. You win. Dave did not win. But that's okay. What time be it on your part of the earth? It'd be 8:30 in the morning on Friday. Okay, Nano's 2013. Let me have it. Why is the Dave won? Tell me. Tell me the important reasons why Dave won. Ay-ya-ya! Amber Drasher coming in with thunder again. Thank you, Amber. You're a wonderful, wonderful person. What if I want to not win? Asked Clockwork Paradise. Well, you need to go to the bronze medal live stream or something. This is the gold medal live stream. Amber distributed the medal. Yes, she did. Mamma mia, says Melandrix. Mamma mia, indeed. Science wins. Okay, science, right. So, what makes something science? Hi, LJ. How are you this morning? You get a gold medal for being in this live stream, by the way. Happy Friday winners. Happy Friday winners, indeed. Jeebus, you are 2 minutes and 36 seconds late. I don't know what I was panicking again. You're always making me panic. Yeah, indeed, Sugar Mama. Let's see. C.S. Joseph gets the shit medal? Oh, okay. MVP, Amber, the winner of winners. Well, she gets the platinum medal. Okay. I don't even get a platinum medal. She gets the only platinum medal. Oh, I have to settle for gold. Sup, CJ Smothers. Sup, CJ Smothers. That's a lot of S's. Maybe you could look at DSP's data and see which of the traits he measures correlates to which function. Maybe. That sounds like a lot of work. Thor for the bronze. Thor. Yeah. I'll give Thor the bronze. C.S. Joseph. He's going to have to try next Olympics. He's going to have to wait till next Olympics. Jeepus. Jeepus, will you stop talking about C.S. Joseph's pole smoking? Okay? That's not nice. I'm pretty sure that that's not nice. What do I think about Sargon of Akkad running for MEP? What's MEP? I know who Sargon of Akkad is. What does that sound? What was that sound? Where did it come from? A Google Calendar? Oh, it's my Google Calendar telling me I have to leave to go pick up my mom in a while. That's fine. Who the heck is C.S. Joseph? LJ asks. You know who C.S. Joseph is. Come on now. Wait, which seat is he running for, David? EU Parliament? Is that what the MEP is? MEP? Oh, well, I mean, I guess I hope he gets it, but I heard something not that long ago that Okay. I heard something about him making some very controversial and not smart and statements about like applying a race-based calculus to young people, to minors, regarding like trying to justify having sex with children, or not children but like teenagers or something. I don't know, I heard something like that. I don't want to slander the guy at all, but that somebody was telling me about that shit. So that would make me be a little bit um hesitant about him if that were the case, but I don't really know if that's the case. I'm just spreading rumors, really, frankly, that I heard somebody tell me. Okay, so C.S. Joseph in his Q&A last night brought up Eric again, said a certain ESTP YouTuber needs to take bong hits to access his any demon function. Okay. Well, I mean, the thing is, I've had stretches of my life where I didn't smoke weed, and unsurprisingly, my personality didn't change. Hebe? I've never heard that term before. Hebophile? What's a hebophile? Sargon is pretty immature, to be honest. Sargon is what is Sargon of Akkad? He's somebody who likes to beat people up with his tool function, but he doesn't even pick worthy targets. He should come debate me. I'll throw him about the room. Oh. Interested in a 13 to 17-year-old age of parents is a hebophile. I never heard that word before. Oh, they slandered him? Okay, well, then that's my bad. I don't mean to repeat rumors that are slander. That's not okay with me. But but I have made enough clarification that it's just a rumor that I heard. So I'm not trying to affirm it or anything. So let's see here. Sargon and Moron, the only decent right-wing YouTuber, is Sticks. I would consider myself if you wanted to call my politics anything, you certainly wouldn't call them left-wing. And my politics are exactly right. So LJ has a pretty sweet show too. Why don't you two do a collab? Sure, I'll make a video with LJ. Let's make a video, LJ. You can be LJ and I'll be Eric. We can have a conversation. Whiz sauce. Every time I make an aesthetic decision, I stumble towards the kingdom of God. You made a wise one there, Whiz sauce. You are closer right now for that aesthetic decision you just made. That's a great statement. Good job. That's a great sentence. I love that sentence. Hi, LJ, and right back at ya. At cha, Amber. LJ in the garage. Greetings, beautiful, gorgeous. I was watching a video about how one's own metaphors for understanding society has a huge impact on one's politics. Well, that's true. One's metaphors for understanding society has a huge impact on one's politics, but it's also the case that one can treat politics on an issue by issue basis. So I think one of the bigger problems that we have is that people want to form into camps, but the camps aren't very they aren't very uniform, right? Like Democrats don't necessarily agree with the same policies as other Democrats, and Republicans the same way, and yada yada yada. So I'm gonna have to watch your content, LJ. I haven't really watched it at all. Everybody's saying they like your show, so maybe I need to actually watch your content. I have a lot of people that I like a lot and talk to a lot, and they have channels, probably, and a lot of them I don't even know if they have channels. Would you ever debate someone like Destiny? He's pretty high tier in both education and verbal. I'd debate anybody, David Sanderson. Ain't nobody gonna roll over me. The best anybody else can do is we can be head to head. That's the best it's gonna be. Ain't nobody gonna roll over me. Who got your vote in 2020? Well, probably write my own name in. I am running in 2024. What inspired you today, LJ, since you asked earlier? Destiny's considered the best lefty debater? Well, if he's a lefty debater, I'll fucking tear him to pieces. He's got no chance. Thing is, positions have rhetorical slope. So it's not like all positions are equal and you can argue them all equally. When people are wrong, they have a harder time arguing and winning. He's actually wrong. I'm actually correct about everything. So I'm going to win that debate. If he's arguing a leftist side, if there's a lot of concrete shit we can actually clash on, I will win that hands down. This is a gold medal live stream, okay? This is not a silver medal live stream. This is not a bronze medal live stream. You're the best lefty debater, Sinjin? I don't think you're that left. Destiny said he hates lefties. I mean, it's most likely that if you can find somebody who's wrong and purportedly a good debater, they won't debate me, that they'll refuse to debate me. Or just duck it indefinitely. I know, patch of personality. I know. Type Police and March Madness are both coming back. I am in a state right now where I find myself and my attention turning to a lot of other little things, I'm scheduling lots of conversations with people because all of a sudden stuff's picking up for me. It's like people are emailing me more, people are texting me more, and getting typings, and I don't know, I've just been like active in a way that I want to engage with other people more, and I just haven't had a burst of energy that has carried me into doing those things that I will do. It's just I'll get around to it. R3SH. Don't know about that, Eric. This dude has literally been arguing with people about politics from all spectrums for years. Okay, well, R3SH. Let me explain to you. I debated policy debate in high school back in the 80s, and I'm a policy debate coach. I'm a professional coach. I've had national champions. In fact, I would say it's fair to say, objectively, I'm among the most successful middle school debate coaches in the country. Now, I don't usually spend all my time competing at the high school level, but I coach my middle schoolers exactly the same way I coach my high schoolers. They all do the same kind of argumentation. I do Ks, I do theory arguments, I do counter plans, I do everything with my students. And my cases are consistently, by far, the strongest we encounter in middle school, and will hold their own against the best high school cases. So it doesn't matter what you're saying there. You can't be more experienced than me at debate. It's not possible to be more experienced. The only way to be more experienced than me is to be older than me. Now, granted, there was a big chunk of years in there between when I debated and started coaching where I was out of the fray, out of the competition fray, but I was still plenty engaged in politics and political arguing. No, never watched one before. Doesn't matter. Don't need to. To be able to successfully tell you that if he's making substantial disagreements with me on policy prescriptions, he will lose. That's it. You do not get the reply, get stuffed, Jeebus. I gotta say, Eric, your FE was slacking in that interview. I tried to make it better than I tried to be attentive to it. I thought it was pretty good in the sense that it was successful in preventing me from making major FE mistakes. But I guess I should have been. When I watched it afterwards, I was annoyed by my fidgetiness and looking around and stuff. That part of the FE, I would certainly agree with you. I wish I hadn't done that, really. It's hard for me to not be me, I'm fidgety. I'm bouncing both my knees right now. And this bugs me too. I don't like seeing this when I watch my own videos. but I just do it all the time, you know? Yeah, INFJ and ENTP can be seen as the most metaphysical types. What's the strength or attributes for INTJ? Okay, well, that being the most metaphysical type is not a strength or an attribute exactly. It's just, see, INTJ, they go metaphysical, physical, physical, physical. So they're what you call one of the most balanced types, I guess. Because they go NI and then TEFISE. So that's means they metaphysically know, then they physically interface with a dynamic system, and then they physically experience the weight of things, and then they do shit, actually execute shit in the world. So as a consequence, they are very balanced in that regard. And unlike ENTP, who's all about words, INTJ has the capacity to know things on a universal level. That is to say, to extract experience from their knowledge and to just glean the universalities from it. But then from that point forward, to make things real in the world in some sense. So the only type that does a better job of taking the abstract and making it real is ENTJ, because they've got SE third slot, so their hidden agenda makes them do more shit. But that's what the ENTJs do. They render the metaphysical into the actual. This one's for you, Amber. Do we have any more weed? No, I can't really transubstantiate it because I didn't use a torch. But I'm gonna go get more weed today, so don't worry. Eric, you started a Telegram chat room. I don't know what a Telegram chat room is. Lol, check my channel, Eric. Okay, LJ. DSP looks scared a couple times in that interview. You know, that's the other thing is, Kimberly was talking with Becky about that last night, about the interview and then the facial expressions of people. And I realized I really just don't look at people's facial displays. And I should, you know, there's information there. I don't like to receive the information. That's why I don't look at them. I've determined. I don't like to receive that FE information. So, and I will receive it if I pay attention to people's facial expressions. So I just don't look at them. It's a weird habit. So when you get mad easily and start getting huffy, is that your TI that is getting pissed off, or is that third slot FE showing? If Becky is still here, I want Becky to answer that question. I think it has to do with polar FI is why I want Becky to answer the question. But
yours does.
In other words, because I don't understand my own feelings at all or anything, and because they're so not sticky, like they're like bubbles that pop, right? They're not, you know, okay, if you think about an FI DOM, like an INFP, they have a stone inside of them, a big, heavy stone inside of them. Now, this stone heats up and cools down. So this stone might be associated with you, let's say. Let's say you're a significant other in INFP. That stone will warm up. If every time you go around your INFP and the experience of you two together creates good feelings, that stone will warm up. And when the stone is warm, it takes a long time to cool down. So if somebody's warmed up your stone a lot over time, and it takes time to warm it up, right? But if due to interaction between two people, the INFP stone gets very warm, then they're a stone huddler, okay? So let's say now you go away for a while. Well, the stone starts to cool down. They've gotten used to the warmth of the stone. And so when it starts to cool down enough, they start to shiver, and they want to get the person back to put more heat into the stone. And the other direction, if you're an FI Dom and somebody brings around you bad feelings, it doesn't matter any of the rightness or wrongness of it. If they're bringing you bad feelings, then your stone will start to cool down, and they're going to not like you. So if you're in a relationship with an FI Dom, the number one thing to remember is make them feel good or make them feel bad. It doesn't matter whether they're right or wrong or anything. It's like if an FI Dom does something you don't like and you want to critique them about it, they take no lesson from that, like, oh, I shouldn't do that again or whatever necessarily. What they really take from it is you're cooling down my stone. And you want to be the warm person. You want to be the warmer that I need because I'm a stone huddler. But instead, you're bringing cold onto the stone, and that's going to make me not want to see you again, or whatever. So it's like a relationship with an FI Dom requires you to realize that none of the things that normally matter at all matter. The only thing that matters is do you make them feel good or bad? Whether or not you're right, you being right about something doesn't make them feel less bad, which is part of the problem, I guess, when dealing with them. Wiz Snoss says, hello everyone, what is the name of the interview video? Would you like me to put a link to it? Actually, you know what you could do? You go to my community tab of Talking with Famous People. It's in there. It's like in the blog or whatever they call that. Sending my love, hearty eyes, and positivity to Miss Kimberly. # Happy Friday, beautiful air hugs.
Good morning.
Which aids the way that a cognitive person, like an INTJ or INTP, to go when it comes to personal development, which is distinguished from intellectual development? Well, I think that the areas of development for any type are 3rd slot, 6th slot, and in a way 7th slot. So 3rd slot, my FE continues to improve slowly. It'll never be as good as Sinjin's, but it will continue to make fewer mistakes. At least I'll make fewer FE mistakes. So I know I can develop in my 3rd slot. I know I can develop my 6th slot, although I'm not really developing my 6th slot per se. I'm using my SI nature makes me become better with compiling heuristics that imitate my 6th slot over time. I don't know how that would work with somebody with NI, but but for me, I understand that I can be more effective in 6th slot shit, but I can't necessarily I can't really do anything with my attentional habit of 6th slot. So my actual TE is only applied sometimes in ways that are unconscious, kind of. And most of the time what happens instead is an SITI heuristic workaround for TE. So that improves. It's almost the same thing as improving your 6th slot. And then the 7th slot, what I find is I become aware increasingly of blind spots that I didn't know were there before. So it's like I get aspects of FI increasingly on an intellectual level, not attentionally, but on an intellectual level, that allows me to make somewhat more nuanced observations when I do experience it on a attentional level. Nanos 2013. Let me tell you something. I have almost 5,000 videos. I may have more than 5,000 videos at this point. I have made countless videos explaining the system, you can access a document. You can access multiple documents in which it's all articulated in my Google Docs links, or if you go to my riceasterisk.blogspot.com, I put links to documents there as well. And I've made videos that are specifically articulating these things. If you go to my channel, on the front page, there's one video series called Exciting Words and Tables. And that one is me reading a book I wrote, or not really a book I wrote. It's really a compilation of one-off documents. But I read through it and explain shit. I'm reading through it. I mean, it's like, I get it. You're dealing with me. Just you don't know what I got happening or whatever, and so you're just talking to me like, well, you make a little bit of sense. You should really try to explain all that shit. But I've been explaining it for years, and
you should look it up.
The Blogspot is enough, Eric. You offer your Gmail out. It takes moments to reference a page and see clarity. All right. Jimmy Weezer notices people's facial expressions, but values my intentions more than their reactions. Well, that sounds like something an FI 1 or 2 would experience. Like, if in fact you're more concerned about your own intentions than their reactions, then that's FI over FE. Clockwork Paradise. To be fair, Eric, you know your stuff, and I'm sure you have covered your entire system, but the way you present your explaining videos is so messy, it should be refined, playlisted step by step. Well, Clockwork Paradise, I agree with you that my media empire, for lack of a better word, is a complete mess. There's no disputing that fact. And I would like it to be otherwise. And I also have a finite amount of attention to direct to an infinite amount of things. And so I do the best I can. I hopefully things will get more clean as I continue to move on. Things are getting more clean than they used to be. It's not just a typology channel. That's the thing. If I were just a typology channel and I had my front page, I would do a better job of organizing my playlists. I would have videos by type, videos about mechanics, videos about this, videos about that, and that'd be fine. But I've got
a job, a mother with dementia, a new relationship, a daughter still at home, animals everywhere, and a life.
Kimberly, this is not a new relationship. We've been together for 2 years.
But I'm just saying.
Yes, well, everything else you said is true, but the point is, it's not a new relationship.
Well,
all right. So the thing is, all right, so it's much easier to find and take in steps. This is one thing I will absolutely agree with you, Clockwork Paradise, that I could do. It'd be very simple to make videos more accessible to people. I could cover less ground more thoroughly instead of covering more ground thoroughly. But I mean, I could cover more ground, cover less ground, the same thoroughness, but more repetition and more teaching. Like, in other words, when I'm teaching a class and I'm explaining complicated concepts to the students, as I often have to do in debate, right? If I have a class of middle schoolers and I'm trying to explain to them the difference between a standard and a rule in jurisprudence and how the impact of discretion upon the process goes, then I've got to repeat it a lot of different ways, come at it from different angles, etc. So I could do that. Would be a good way to potentially make my videos more accessible and also possibly more entertaining. I don't like the super TI heavy videos myself. The ones where I'm just going through a bunch of mechanics and theory and stuff and laying it all out is boring. How do you beat a TI dominant argument? Be a TI tool user. TI tool user, an ANP is going to beat an INTP in an argument most of the time. Now, in a formal debate, that's not necessarily the case, because then the INTP has some time to prep, and INTP does a little bit better with more prep, and ENTP does a little bit better with less prep. So, but most arguments are not prepared.
No, Sheila, I cannot.
Florian Bischoff, stop looking at the thing hanging around your own chest and look over here at the gold medal live stream. Okay? I'm always creating shit is nice. I've seen TI Doms absolutely immolate people in debates. The immolate is to catch yourself on fire. Isn't it? Do I have that wrong? I want to Google it. Immolate. I'm pretty sure it means to light yourself on fire.
No, it means to emulate what somebody else is doing.
No, that's imitate. Immolate. Kill or offer as a sacrifice, especially by burning. Huh. What do you know? I guess I just always hear it in terms of monks lighting themselves on fire in the Vietnam War. You know, the monk immolated himself. So I assumed that that's what it meant, you know.
I use that word as to say I'm going to immolate you.
Oh, that's emulate.
Oh, emulate. Okay.
Immolate and emulate are different. Which types have the most likely failure to launch syndrome? That's INFP and INTP. Nobody wins in an argument if neither parties are open to the other's conclusions. That's absolutely true, Melandrix, but you don't have to be open to their conclusions. You just have to be fair in your argumentation. It's like, I'm open to being, if they make a point that beats one of my points, I'll concede it, you know? Sometimes I feel like my tool is stuck in my slot. It does happen. NI helps debating TI Doms too. Bomb the shit out of their babbles. Good point. I mean, look. Generally, this is not always the case. There are some badass ENTJ debaters out there too. But generally, the four best types of debaters are not the four NTs. It's ENTP, INTP, INTJ, and INFJ. Those are usually the four best types of debaters. Because the thing is about INFJs, though, they have to have a good coach, because they tend naturally themselves to not do mechanical arguments, but instead to impact against people and impact against motivations and stuff. Like, what they think the strongest argument is tends to not be the strongest argument. So INFJs need a little bit better coaching, but they learn shit as quickly as NTPs, but they learn more like NTPs than INTJ, even though they're NI Doms. It's weird. They're a weird type. INFJ is. They've got a lot of combination of stuff that makes them not like, they're not like any of the other any NISE people, really. TMBG songs seem made of blocks. Sometimes. I think I get what you're saying. Like, if it doesn't, some of their songs feel like the parts go together in a circle. They don't represent a real song entity, because it never sort of like resolves architecturally, it doesn't feel like it's got a verse, chorus, bridge. It feels like it's got three choruses that just go in a circle. Learned a new word. Which one was it?
Incinerate or whatever.
Oh, immolate? Atomistic. Some people just can't spell. That's true, Amber. Some people just can't spell. Which type has the least trust in their TI? the least trust in it would not be Polar TI. It would probably be 8-slot TI has the least trust in it. Because the Polars aren't really going to even understand what it is. So I would say INFPs and ISFPs trust their TI less than they should. They should trust their TI more because it's better than they think it is, because people underestimate their 8th slot. Too much FE is as bad as too little of it when it comes to formal debates. Yeah, most of my FE is unintentional. There is some intentional FE, which is usually like, sometimes I'll be like, tell my kids to say, my esteemed opponent, just to sort of to not be accused of being an ass. So even if then you can be an ass, but you just keep calling me my esteemed opponent, then it sort of balances each other out or something. It's one of my sophisticated FE calculi there. How do you build an argument in debate? I'd want to start with some reasonably simple truths that can be agreed by both parties, but I've never done it. Well, what those are called, reasonably simple truths that you shouldn't need to warrant, are observations. They're a part of a framework. So a framework doesn't really include the resolution, but you should start there. That anytime you're going to build an argument, you need to have a clear resolution that's being debated about. There's a single statement that you can affirm or negate. What time is it? Okay, I gotta end this in probably, I'm like 15, 20 minutes. I gotta go get my own. So you've got to establish in the framework, you can establish observations, like you're saying. You can establish definitions. And the definitions that work best usually in debates are the ones that are the most fair and naturally using definitions. So the way it really is meant to be, or the way the resolution writer intended the word to be understood. And then you set up a criterion. So that says, here's how I think we should decide at the end of this debate who has won. In my opinion, what we should do is say who has established the most impacts on their side. Is to say, if you agree with me, then these impacts in the world occur with my advocacy. Whereas if you agree with him, we don't get those good impacts, or something like that. You establish your framework as to how you want it to be judged. That's how you start an argument. You start it with a framework. You establish observations, definitions, criteria. Okay. Melandric says, did you mention an interview with Ben Basterl and Eric, or did I make that up? There was one scheduled, I believe, and I got removed from the Facebook message group that included me about that meeting that we supposed to have. So I don't know what that means. ISIS is a bunch of ISFPs. I don't know if that's true, David Sanderson. I think it's possible that ISIS comprises more than just ISFPs. Okay, let's see. Sheila W. Okay, I gotta go again. Talk to you later. Bye, Becky. Do you think people who are high NE are prone to ADHD? Yes. I think NE DOMs, not necessarily anything but DOMs, but NE and SE DOMs that's what ADHD is referring to. If you have a disorder called ADHD, that means you're an ENFP, an ESTP, an ESFP, or an ENTP. It's not a disorder at all. It's just a personality configuration. Bye, Melandrix. Don't forget to eat plenty of
cheese.
Bees. I was going to go with bees this time. Let's see. Where am I? Democratic socialism. W. I hate having to explain my actions. TE likes to talk about processes, I think, so maybe it's TI or lack of TE that resists it. I hate having to explain my actions too, Karen. I hate that. I don't mind justifying them ahead of time, like what we ought to do, that's fine. Oh, I have to transubstantiate one for Amber still because I didn't use the torch on that last one. So yes, Blue Nowhere, but this one, unfortunately, I'll transubstantiate one for you too, Blue Nowhere. But this one transubstantiated, you're not going to get any of this in your head. It's going straight to the head of Amber Drasher. Hereby do I transubstantiate you. I can't tell myself because it didn't affect my brain, but I suspect that was a bell ringer. I don't know enough about Andrew Yang to say. I would certainly not vote for Bernie in 2020. Yes, I hate Trump. It's true. I don't hate Trump, but I hate Trump. I hate him. He's awful. He's the worst in history. I don't know why I even said I don't hate him. I do hate him. I'm glad to hear it, Amber Drasher. Kimberly, can you ask Juan Pablo over there if he wants a bong rip?
Juan Pablo.
Do you want a bong rip, Juan Pablo?
Yes.
Si, senor. Okay, yeah, he does. Oh, si, senor. Here you go. Juan Pablo. Oh, Maud. Maud, are you here? Are you here to say hello to the people in the world? Come to Daddy. Oh, yes, Maud. There you go. You can stand on my leg.
Well, your leg's too skinny. Give her more of an area to stand on.
My name's Maud. I'm here to say X Gold live stream medal today. Yes, this live stream full of gold. I'm Maud, and you are old. Here, Maud, here, you can stand on my hands, okay? Whoa. There you go. See? My name is Maud, and you are good. My name's Maud. Yes, I am. I'm not a parrot. I am a ham. Yes, it's good. What do you say? My name is Maud. Hey. That's a good rap, Maud. I didn't know you're such a good rapper.
They're not parrots.
Okay.
Pissed her off.
I'm sorry, Maud. Pushing Biden would be a major mistake. The Democrats have nobody. Look, they need me. Everybody needs me to run for president. I am running for president. I just can't do it in 2020. I got too much shit going on right now. I mean, look. The problem is I have to create my own groundswell. I can't, there's not any clamor for me to run for president amongst the general populace.
I can't even organize my channel.
So
how the hell do you expect me to run for president?
That's a lot easier than organizing my channel. But the thing is, organizing my channel is a much more difficult, challenging proposition than running for president, for sure. The point is, so I need the time then. That's why I have to wait till 2024, is because I need the time to build that groundswell by going in across country and talking to groups of people and stuff, you know? If I had already enough money and like notoriety or whatever, then I'd probably try to still run in 2020 despite the situation. But I just, it doesn't make sense right now to try until I have the ability to go travel around and meet people. So, okay, let's see. There was something I wanted to read that I saw here about ENFP shelves. Where does it say that? Don't eat bees. They are like sharks. They keep the world going. I'm with Miss Kimberly Cheese. I like the fact that bees and sharks are what keep the world going. If it weren't for the bees and sharks, we'd all be dead. I slit a hole in my teddy bear and had with it. What type am I? A perv. You're a teddy bear perv. You're just a normal man, actually.
It's a woman.
Oh, well, yeah. If you're a woman, then you are.
I'm kidding.
That means you're just a normal woman, too, who needed to scissor her teddy bear. Let's see. Pushing Biden would be a mistake. I agree. Biden's an embarrassment. I generally agree with that. He seems like a pleasant enough fellow, but he's not a competent person to run the country.
He's a little handsy.
He's a little handsy. Sinjin, what do you mean by vibes? I think I can detect small details in people relationships because of what they say and their facial expressions. Is that the same?
No.
He's asking Sinjin. If Bernie or Yang win, I'm moving to America. Why? You want to see it fall apart? Jack Herrera is one of my favorites. Least favorite is Blue Dream. Least favorite too. Thank you, Search Volcano Island. I will never buy that shit. Never. I've never had a good variant of it or anything. Blue Dream is crap.
What is that?
It's a strain of weed. I like Super Jack. Super Jack is good. Super Jack is a very distinctive strain. It's the only sativa that I'll really get excited about. You know.
What's our favorite?
I mean, I like Gorilla Glue or Elmer's Glue if it's good. Probably more than anything else. I do get good heavy indicas, plenty, you know. But I think I prefer the hybrid quality of the glues. I also like jet fuel, though. If you get a good jet fuel, you're talking about something. You're gonna troll Wendy. Wendy's trying to troll you, Karen. They're trying to troll me too. That's why I don't respond to that shit. Why do you say Trump is the worst in history? Okay, well, he's the worst since Andrew Jackson. He's the same person as Andrew Jackson. Got no fucking regard for the processes and habits of democracy. Okay, so thought you killed the DSP, by the way. Thanks, Hambone. You were boning the ham. I was hamming the bone, and thank you. JL at CP. I pay loads of attention to the environment so that I don't miss obvious signs. Then I have to factor in the new info, what I already have worked out about the person's psychology. Do you do that? That sounds slow and no-y of you, JL. That sounds very no-y of you. Are you a knower? Are you an SI or an NI Dom?
Is JL LJ?
No, they're different people. JL is not the same person as LJ.
Oh.
But they do share both of the same letters. Martin L. ENFPs have messy but full bookshelves and videos. As an ENTP, what does that say about you? This was the crucial question for this evening. Is that directed to me, or is that like C.S. Joseph's thing or whatever? What it says about me, these books on this bookshelf, that's actually a set. Like, I put those there for the purpose of being a set, of having books behind me. That's the only reason they're there.
Papers,
well, I'm in mid-process of cleaning, okay?
We'll move that.
Okay, well, I gotta go right now. I don't have time to move that right now. I've only got time to do an hour-long live stream. I don't got time to move those papers. Let's see. The Amazing Egghead says hello. Nanos 2013 says dictatorship is best if you're the dictator. INTJ says JL. Oh, that's what type you are? You are a knower then. I was right. You sound like a knower. INFPs care about feeling good, but do they care if they make another people feel bad? Yeah, look, what FI actually is putting yourself in the other person's shoes all the time. So instead of going, if neither of us were involved in this, Would third parties agree with you or me? Would third parties agree with you or would third parties agree with me? That's TI.
I gotta go to work, y'all. Bye.
Bye, baby. That's SI. Would third parties agree with you or would they agree with me? That's TI. How do I feel about it and how much you feel about it too? That's FI. If you have FI, INFP, and you tell them, that fucking Kim Jong-un is an awful fucking human being. He's such a terrible dictator, whatever. INFP will go, he's a person too. Because INFP will put themselves in the dictator's shoes and say, how would I feel if people were saying this about me, these mean things about me? I'd feel bad. Therefore, don't talk shit about the dictator. Karen, that's very good assessment there. That's an excellent assessment of things. It's exactly right. Have I ever actually talked to you? I think you're an actual ENTP too, probably. Like Becky. I know I've talked with you in text, but on comments and stuff, but I don't know if I've ever actually spoken to you. Does FE do that in a different way? Do what? Touch my wiener? Sometimes. That is why FI users are not empaths, but sympaths. You cannot see other people's perspective when you have your own head firmly embedded up your own backside. They don't have their heads embedded up their own backside. I'm a debate coach. Blue nowhere. That's my job. I'm a debate coach. That's what I do for a living. To all the winners in the garage live stream, happy Friday. Make good choices. Remember, each of you are gold medal winning. Thanks, Amber. You are a force of positivity in the world, I must say. That whole pay it forward thing is going to pay off for you, I'm sure. Let's see. FI are empath. FE is sympath. No, FE is an awareness of how how your behavior is going to influence other people's perspectives. So if you review what's happened in this chat here, in this live stream in general, there's been some, at the beginning of it, there was some critique of my FE in the DSP video there. What they're saying is I was behaving in ways that caused other people's perspectives of me to be negatively influenced that I could easily avoid if I were more attentive to my tone, how I come across, yada, yada, yada. And that stuff does matter to me a great deal, my tone, how I come across, and other people's perceptions. But I have a less frequent update rate with my FE than with my TI. So I'm always attending to whether things are consistent logically with my tool function TI, and less frequently am I checking to make sure that it's socially graceful. So in that regard, FI is sympathic, not empathic, right? If you want to make that distinction. But I don't like that distinction between sympathy and empathy anyway. So the thing is, what I'm saying is that FI is putting yourself in another person's shoes in order to make calculi about it. Whereas FE is understanding how your behavior is going to influence somebody else's perspectives about you. That's different. Okay, so such a cool job. Thank you, Denise Simon. It is a cool job. I enjoy it. I like working with kids too. I've always liked, unlike almost every teacher in the world, my preferred age range for students is middle school. Teachers do not like middle school, right? If you have teacher friends or something, then you probably know that they don't like middle school. But that's always been my favorite age group to teach with. And I think it's because, well, I know why it is. It's because of my third slot FE. Middle school kids, they're old enough to engage with like regular people a little bit and young enough to still think you're cool. So it's like I can impress middle schoolers. They like me a lot. I'm like their favorite teacher or whatever. High school kids, they're too jaded and cool. So they don't really have those kind of relationships with their teachers anyway, where they think you're cool or not. They got their own shit going on. Elementary school kids, they're too little. It's like, you know, I even kids get more interesting until about 8th grade, and then less interesting until about adulthood, you know. So I should probably like middle school. And also they laugh at my jokes. Middle schoolers laugh at my jokes is hugely important. I need to be able to make some kind of saucy jokes too. And so elementary school, you can't really make very saucy jokes. At middle school, you can get away with a little bit of sauciness. And middle schoolers totally laugh at my jokes. I can make middle school classes crack up because my sense of humor is kind of like that of a 14-year-old, I guess. But high school kids are too cool for school. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, INFPs are not selfish. They don't treat each other poorly. It is their own because they have that frame of reference where they put themselves in other people's shoes. Do you use your knowledge of CFs in coaching debate with your students? Yes, I do use my knowledge of cognitive functions in coaching debate with my students. I have a document, in fact, where I talk about the 8 implicit values of the different ways we can frame impacts in debate. So, and those correlate with the cognitive functions. So, for example, you can prioritize singularity in your warrants. That is, say, you can make the argument that we have to do this because it's the best way to do it, or the only way to do it. That now is key. It's the tipping point. Those are all NI style arguments because they're saying the singularity collapses down here. We must. TI is the default language of debate. TE is, but as a criterion, TI will be like, will be an approach to debate that says you must either meet this binary criteria or we negate. You must either meet this binary criteria or we affirm. Or I meet this binary criteria and I sustain that, then I affirm. And if you negate it, I that strategy of criterion where you're saying, let's make this binary thing that you got to attain, either legitimacy of some sort or legality or whatever. And if you don't attain that, then we negate. That's a very TI style of criterion. And so when I talk about the different criterion styles here is what I'm talking about, not just arguments. So NI would be like tipping point. TI would be like, I have this proof that this is illegal based on these various things. So we can't affirm because it's illegal, even if it's a good idea otherwise. That's like a TI kind of frame, legality frame or something. And then TE is an impacts frame, saying, well, let's count up all the predicted impacts and whatever has more impact should win. And then, I mean, the thing is, those are the main kinds of arguments you have. Any criterion would be like, let's choose the newest thing, but that doesn't really happen. Nobody makes those arguments. So instead, it would have to be an argument like, this persistent problem requires a novel solution. This has never been tried before. It's got a chance, and let's do it. No, everything else has been tried. You have to make that kind of argument if you're going to really do anything. It's not, not everything manifests explicitly as a value you can use as a criterion in debate. And then like SE is simply we need to take action on this. It's less important that we get it right than it is that we do it now because of the urgency to it or something. And then SI would be a frame that says we need to look at all the past examples that are like this and see how those turned out and decide whether we should do this based on those. And then what am I forgetting about? FI and FE. So you don't see those frames very much in debate, but an FE frame would be something like this. Performance K is an FE frame. Performance K says, I've talked about this topic in the most different ways. I've written a poem about it. I've sang a little song about it. I drew a picture about it. And I did some actual debate about it. And blah, blah, blah. And we should prioritize that because that maximizes the learning modalities for everybody who might see the debate. And ultimately, debate is all about learning. So the pre-fiat impacts is to say, we need to do this to promote education as a general thing. that would be like a FE kind of frame. And then an FI frame would be like a narratives argument, actually. An FI frame is a narratives argument. So when sometimes people make this argument, listen, we're arguing about whether or not the United States government should increase farm subsidies. Okay. Now, I'm reading a case that's mostly just telling the story of John Stevenson and his family farm in Kansas, and how sad and how much injustice he's faced, and how critical it is that we allow the government to help him, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this big story about this one guy, and it's a true story. And then I make the argument that you should vote for me because the true story I'm telling about this guy, I'm the only one who's telling this guy's story at this debate tournament, and he's a real person in the real world, and he's having his story told. And that means that we're really truly impacting in a pre-fiat way. Pre-fiat means actual impacts rather than predicted impacts in a round, right? We're really impacting in pre-fiat. And so since the only way for me to continue to tell his story is for you to vote for me, Judge, as the winner here and advance into the out rounds and the semifinals and final stuff, that's the only way his story is going to get maximal telling. And so you should vote for me because I'm the only one telling it, and his life's very important. People run that shit. That's an argument people run in debate sometimes. And so it's called narratives. It's a narratives K. That is an FI frame. So you see, it's like all of the functions can be rendered into debate frames. And you could talk about specific arguments being examples of FI or FE or whatever, but that's not really what's going on there in terms of the cognitive function link. It's that the frame implicit in that narratives is that individuals' personal feelings matter most. And that's what's implicit in the narratives discourse. They don't ever say that in the round, but that's what's implicit in it. So, okay, have a nice day, David Sanderson. Don't forget to do plenty of B's. Amazing vlog. I don't know why anyone would want to wrong an INFP to begin with. Oh, yeah, I don't know why either. Which functions are best for bodybuilders? Extrovert sensing? Well, I mean, which functions are best for bodybuilders? I would say probably somebody who's most likely to become a bodybuilder probably has some SITE in there. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I got to go, everybody. Thanks very much. Love you all. Amber, you're the greatest. And have a great day. I'm going to go take care of my mom.